Man. Okay. Hold on. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. Nope. I couldn't remember if I'd gone in here. I definitely didn't pick those up, though.
Al! Al, I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird.
Come on.
You can open the door now.
Hooey!
They're gone. Hey, Al. I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had
You
disappeared.
ever have those feelings of deja vu?
The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
I know.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the Oh Dear
Diner.
Rose, what did I tell you about taking Xanax before you answer the phone? It looks like... I haven't actually looked into it, but it looks like... Even though all I did was play the soundtrack to the game, my first episode of the Alan Wake playthrough got banned or is being blocked in certain countries on YouTube. So,
Previously on Alan Wake, Alice has been kidnapped.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
I can't tell anyone except my agent Barry.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head.
The ransom is a manuscript I supposedly wrote that's coming true before my eyes.
It happened just the way it was on that page. So dark.
I have found only a few scattered pages.
I want the entire manuscript.
The deadline is in 2 days.
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Good girl.
How the hell did she get her hands on the manuscript anyway?
I don't know. She's resourceful. I told you you were too hard on her. Listen, I found out all sorts of interesting stuff while I was digging around.
1 second.
Yeah.
Mr. Wake, it's Sheriff Breaker. We have an FBI agent here, Agent Nightingale.
FBI.
He's anxious to see you. You'd better come to the station.
Okay, I'll be right over, Sheriff. Let's make this quick, huh?
Help you folks? Name's Randolph. I'm the man.
Can I help you with your hairline?
Rose works as a waitress down at the diner.
Rose. Sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As I was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and, get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Anyway,
I'm the
there was
God-fearing
a
type, as you can tell by my
killer
pants.
called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Yeah, how about that? It was there in the morning, as if it had fallen from the sky. But it would take a tornado to lift something like that. We're damn lucky it didn't crush any of the trailers.
Hey, what's up, Sage? Hope you're having a good one. I'm inadvertently cosplaying as this guy, and I don't like it.
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger,
That's not true.
drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook store. The Scratching Hag. Comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff like that.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy bag lady you met.
What, the lamp lady? She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless.
Yeah, anyway, she knew both Jagger and Zane.
Well, I hope that job works out for you.
And she had
It occurs to me now that Alan Me Up Inside sounds exceptionally gay. But I didn't want to be too obvious.
Well, mister, this here's Rose's trailer. You mind me asking what you want with her?
We're here to check if
Here to
she's
talk to her, pal.
possessed and evil.
Welcome to... Oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose, you have my manuscript?
Oh. Oh, yes. Yes. Please, come in.
Seems legit.
This is really good.
Rose,
Yes,
my manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry? She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al, what's... Oh...
Barry! What? What?
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
I promised I'd come visit you and your lovely wife. You must finish what you started. I insist.
Okay.
You must turn the lights on. Turn the light on.
Back to work, boy.
What you watching?
I felt nauseous, hungover. Only anger kept me going.
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Every one of these pictures is funny.
Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark.
First refill is free. Milk and sugar on the counter there.
The Alan Wake wig stays on.
Thank you.
Okay, Barry.
Come back soon.
Good luck,
My
buddy.
gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste. Mr. Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter.
Oh,
Wasn't
damn it.
anybody's business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble.
They look like trouble.
Way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station.
Jesus. Those pictures where he had the sunglasses on, he was definitely hungover.
Nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this...
It made me do the bird fight again, because I guess it didn't save that I was at the end of the episode.
Punctuated by the occasional plunge into nightmare. Is it just me? Well, perhaps it is. But I hope I can make the night a little bit easier to get through. Caller, you're on.
But luckily, I was able to do that again pretty quickly.
What's on your mind, Walt?
Well, I am the way you are, but, well, I can't sleep either, you know? I just been staring out the window here, trying to make sense of it all, but, I ain't been drinking either, you know? I just...
Well, you sound like a man with a problem, Walt.
I had a, argument with Danny. You know Danny, and, then I got in trouble with the law, you know, and, I'm just, well...
I heard something like that, Walt.
Yeah, well, you know,
I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't go forward to the, because I didn't go past the end of the episode. Maybe the autosave kicks in at previously on Alan Wake. I don't know.
I was just outside looking up at the sky above our broadcast tower thinking the same thing. What are you waiting for, Walt?
I don't know. You know, something's gonna happen. You know, I think I better go.
Well, Walt, maybe...
No, thanks, Pat.
Well, good luck to you, Walt. Hang in there. Let's take a little break, folks. This weather's really something else, huh?
Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over here. Ow. Well, the bird fight was easier the second time, because it turns out I missed like 5 flares. I didn't look at the notification, but Google told me that the Alan Wake episode has been blocked in certain countries. I'm assuming because of the music, but I haven't looked at it yet. And it's just like, how's anyone supposed to like operate when this is the shit that happens? I was hoping we could just take this truck. Oh well. I remember, I think it was when I was playing Spider-Man Remastered, because there's a copyrighted song in the very first scene, and I streamed that, and then Twitch was like, we are giving you your first strike, basically. Don't do that shit again. It's like, man. It treats you. It's mainly the fact that the system treats you so aggressively, like it's a deliberate, active infringement, instead of just oops, the music wasn't covered by free use or whatever.
Oh, you're gonna get it now.
Did they?
God knows what you've done to that poor girl. This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest. You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Spillane!
What? Hello? What the fuck?
What are? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the
That sounds like American law enforcement. They don't even know that a crime has been committed, and they're already shooting to kill.
Stop running! We have the suspect in sight! Okay, men. Keep your eyes peeled. He's gonna try to make it through here. Keep looking.
Jesus.
Oh, damn.
That agent was definitely coked up also. When I was looking in the menu before the game started, I did see that there were like bonus episodes. I assume that those were like DLC.
For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
No, not the rock stars. They're too pure for this world. They can't be tied up in this in this evil. Unless those are two unless there's two completely different rock stars. Well, I'm just gonna see what the game presents to me, and then we'll go from there. My book reading is going to be taken up by Godzilla for a little bit, because there's a prequel novel to the anime movies where Godzilla overruns Earth and humanity has to flee to the stars with a couple alien species. There's a prequel novel to that where all the monsters like are taking over and being crazy. I've seen the first one of it.
This horror was everywhere I went.
It's a little boring.
The cops
At least the first one.
They were after a riot.
It's like kind of gets by on world building. I don't know what the second one is like, but the third one, Godzilla Planet, they're called Godzilla. One second. I just had a brain fart. It hurt. Okay. Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, and Godzilla the Planet Eater. Godzilla Planet Eater is considered in the bottom 3 Godzilla movies ever made. So I'm interested to see that. That's a hell of a statement. That's what I was seeing, is that it's like in the running for like, it's in the running for worst.
You on the ground. Hold it right there. There's nowhere to run. Freeze!
They brought in helicopters because 2 guys stayed over kind of long at a waitress's house. Alan Wake destroyed that helicopter.
This is James. Mulligan, Thornton, come in. Over.
Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. But anyway, hey, what are you doing? Come on.
Sit down and give me that. James, Mulligan here. Over. Go ahead, Mulligan. Over. We got Wheeler and Rose here. Wheeler's drunk or hopped up on something. Speaking of which, that Fed had a pretty distinctive whiff of Otis Scotch about him, if you know what I mean. Over.
Okay, so he was drunk.
I don't have anything on that, Deputy Mulligan. Over. Well, whatever. Anyway, Rose is just plain weird here. You better get Doc in to take a look at both. Over. Gotcha. You better get them here quickly.
Normally, a writer's lifestyle keeps them so fit, you know? I wouldn't have...
I imagine that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine.
Oh, the kidnapper said meet him at the coal mine, that's right. I would not have guessed that this sheriff's department even has a helicopter.
Unnatural shadows clung to the gate. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me.
It's actually having a seizure. It needs its medication.
There was no power to the searchlight.
But I actually realized that that there was an episode of the Godzilla cartoon that I actually missed, so I went back and watched that. But now we are officially onto the 2000s era. I'm on Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, which is the one where Godzilla is reanimated by the spirits of the people killed by the Japanese in World War II. I think I went down here too fast because I wasn't paying attention. the early 2000s ones are all set in their own continuity, and in my opinion, they all have kind of an interesting premise, although it's like it's hit or miss whether they really do anything interesting with that premise. Godzilla X Megaguirus is the one from 2000. And the premise of that one is that in 1954, they were actually not able to kill Godzilla, so they just had to wait out his rampage, and Tokyo is completely gone, and the capital is moved to Osaka. And whenever Godzilla would attack any nuclear reactors, so they had to completely abandon nuclear power. But they don't do... that one's basically just a send-up to the Showa era, where there's a big dumb monster fight. So the world building doesn't get expounded on much.
It took me a moment to recognize the flashbang grenades. They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
Now I need to test how bright these flashbangs are. It pulls the pin. I'm having to look in different places. The most recent two are on Tubi. HBO Max actually has 1954 up to the middle of the 90s. I think it has up, so it has a good, like, 16 or 17 movies on there. Past that, I have to go looking around. I'm actually using the Internet Archive right now to pick up. It's also HBO Max and the other streaming services are not consistent about whether they're using a sub or a dub, so it's gonna switch back and forth. Ow, that was bright. Most of the dubs seem to be pretty recent. So they leave the movie, like the movie remains mostly unedited besides adding the dub. Right now, the worst Japanese ones, I would say, are All Monsters Attack, which is the one where it's a little kid hallucinating Godzilla monsters, representing his bullies. Or All Monsters Attack. Godzilla vs. Megalon is objectively pretty shitty. And the Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla is also not good. We'll see. I tend to just power through these, so I'll probably beat you, but that's... but there's no shame in that. Because I have no life. All Monsters Attack Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla vs. Megalon are when they started abusing stock footage.
And here's another call. You're on KBFFM with Pat Maine.
It's Milt Peabody, Pat.
What's on your mind, Milt?
Well, I live near the trailer park, Pat, and there's a big ruckus going on over there.
Well, that's just up the road from me, too. What's going on, do you know?
I don't know, but there's a bunch of police cars there, lots of sirens, a helicopter buzzing around, and I think I heard some gunshots.
All the guy said was that a couple weird dudes came by, and he hasn't heard from the girl that lives there.
Because it's just next door, and they're popping off guns there.
They're still shooting?
No, it was maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. It sounds serious, Pat. I'm telling you, it don't sound like no party.
I'm certainly going to give the station a call, Milt.
Okay.
You'll hear it here as soon as I hear from them.
Okay, thanks.
Godzilla vs. Megalon has a lot of stupid shit in it to, like, justify the plot. Because it has Jet Jaguar, who, like, goes rogue and turns giant. And they say he must have changed his programming so that he can turn giant to fight and protect. And the plot is that these ancient, like, sea dwellers want to take vengeance on the surface world, so they bring back Megalon, the cockroach. Oops. And when Megalon is not doing so great, they're like, call the aliens from Galaxy 5 to get them to send Gigan. I forget where the aliens that made Gigan are from. Strangely, the aliens that are actually sentient cockroaches are not the ones that made Megalon. That's just lazy. It was interesting reading up. I'm like reading up on each movie as I watch it, and it was interesting reading up on Roland Emmerich's Godzilla, because like again, they tried to like blame it on studio interference, even though by all accounts Toho did no interference of any kind. And every single frame of that movie is pure Emmerich. There is no way anyone but Emmerich had control over the final product. And I am struggling to get the dodge timing down. That's better. I didn't see this page over here. Well, it was interesting to learn.
Rose was lost in
I don't know.
Where everything was drawn in black and gray crayons.
To like some of the ways they accidentally screwed themselves over with the '98 Godzilla.
She was smiling so hard it hurt her crushed a bottle full of sleeping pills into the coffee. Deep down inside, she was screaming in terror.
He definitely showed Alan Wake her boobs while he was unconscious. Made him get a a good old honk in. So apparently in 98 Godzilla, the effects were running really behind and weren't finished until like a week before release. So the movie was not screened for critics. Or had any early screenings at all. Which is normally a sign that the studio doesn't have confidence in it. So that kind of that kind of made people skeptical, even more so. They had really, I think that their marketing campaign was actually pretty genius. The like his foot is bigger than this bus or whatever. And it was everywhere, but like I was telling you in DMs, they the fact that they were keeping his design a secret means that like they didn't allow toy companies to release the toys until the movie was out. And I think the marketing being so aggressive is what led to the movie not being able to. On paper, Godzilla made 3 times its budget, but I don't think that's counting marketing and other stuff. So it was probably a much tighter margin than that. Thank God he missed. I might give it another shot. I can't promise anything now. Jesus Christ. Alright, there must be a weapon cache that I'm missing over here. Because they just don't give you enough grenades to survive that. That's probably true. I forget what it was, but I did watch a movie in that manner recently. Watching it in like mini episode format. That's why it's literally just the Independence Day formula again, but worse. Is why it's impossible to believe that anyone was interfering with Emmerich's directing. It's the exact same thing. Of course, it's on record that Toho went out of their way to let Hollywood do their thing because they killed off Godzilla to give the Americans space, and we're not gonna make movies until 2004, but then that didn't work out. Stop it. Jesus. I hate this game, I think. What the fuck is this music? Someday I'm gonna ask someone who actually knows something about audio to, like, fix my shit. Something funny I learned is that Dean Devlin, who, like, co-wrote it and co-produced it, kind of has recently acknowledged that that they really single-handedly fucked it up. But at the time, he was, like, aggressively fighting back against critics. Because he didn't want to acknowledge that it was over. The design for Godzilla in '98 got leaked like a year before it released, and Dean Devlin had to go on forums and say that it wasn't true, that was an unused design. And then you go to the movie and that is the design. And people were citing the fact that Toho charges for each individual monster that you want to license. Which is true. But Emmerich also didn't want to use any other monsters anyway. It's like, it's like, people on the internet were like, trying really hard. He's like, calm down. Roland Emmerich is not gonna fuck you. People say this about Keanu Reeves, and to some extent it is true. But I think Matthew Broderick is the most consistently miscast guy. Matthew Broderick is miscast in like 90% of the things that he's in. I'm not sure actually. I feel like it's been a while. That was a big boy. And he signed up just because it was Godzilla and he was a fan, but he acknowledged that that he was not doing a lot. Oh.
I hope Maine could lend me a car to get to the coal mine.
What? What?
Well, thank you very much for that compassionate
Huh?
point, Lorna.
Hello, I'm racist. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, here's a little surprise. The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in, folks.
Don't say that.
See if I can talk him into an interview.
Come on in, Mr. Wake. Oh, I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
He definitely wrote down a list of like authors so that he could do that bit because he thinks it sounds cool.
I'll get you yet, even if it kills me. You hear me? You hear me, H.P. Lovecraft?
I had fallen off so
Hey,
many
that's
times.
uncalled for.
That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine. Nightingale stared.
He's completely wasted.
Woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you? Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks burned with rage and humiliation.
Got you now, Edgar Allan Poe. Flares and flare gun ammo are two different things, don't forget. I mean, I guess that's true in real life also, but it's just a little confusing. Yes.
There was no sensible reason.
Don't drop the
for
soap,
work lights to be
Robert Louis Stevenson.
almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Because it kind of brings the sentence to a complete halt because it's kind of long. Holy moly. But doing these marathons has been some of the most fulfilling stuff that I've done on stream. The Kirby-thon, which I need to continue, but my Switch 2 is acting up. The God of War marathon. The Remedy-thon. I guess I could have used that too. I just found that I shouldn't force it. I should just do. I'll continue Uncharted some other time, but I think I should just I shouldn't try to force going from marathon to marathon. Going from early God of War to the modern God of War era was a real trip.
To life. Mud and rocks flew as it fought for traction. It crashed through the concrete wall and landed heavily in the yard. If it were an animal,
Well, I appreciate that. I
it
appreciate the support.
fixed its eyes on me and charged. Of course, it had no head nor eyes.
Sometimes as I'm
Twisting it into a monster. Then
as I'm buffering through and looking at looking at some of the VODs before I post them to YouTube, I'm like, why does anyone watch this? But more importantly, there's about to be a killdozer. One game that I had a ton of fun doing was one thing I had a ton of fun doing was playing Sleeping Dogs, which was a favorite of mine when it came out, but unfortunately there's only the one game.
Sarah trusted her gut, and her gut said Agent Nightingale was an asshole.
What evidence do you have of that?
It wasn't just the smell of stale booze. It was in the way he flashed his badge, pulled rank, the look in his eyes when he wanted answers. Where was Alan Wake? What was this about an accident? Where was his wife? And most importantly, why did she let Wake go? He wouldn't answer.
I was thinking about it because someone on my Steam friends list has been playing it. But I did the full game and the DLC.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan. Alan. I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help
Hello,
me.
my kidnapper gave me a cell phone.
You, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me. The pipe wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I could see a railway bridge up ahead, and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
Ah! It's okay, I saved it. But going from God of War 3, where he,
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger.
where Kratos
Everything in its path.
lets that woman explode into giblets so that he can get past the door to Ragnarok, where they're trying to minimize like civilian casualties, is a lot. Oh dear.
Warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
That woman who's like oh god, someone help me, and then she sees that it's Kratos and tries to hide.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
I think saving civilians was more Atreus' idea, but still. Shit, I meant boy. Ignore that.
I slammed the door shut right in his smug face. He pleaded for me to open the door. True to form, the asshole actually thought I would obey. I had no sympathy left, no guilt either, not for him. I took a moment to savor the scream. I bet I had a smile on my face. It was all that I had time for. The dark presence was inside the lodge with me.
Hey, that man is a law enforcement official. You better show him some respect.
Interested in writing. Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me.
Oh, well, that's probably not going to age well.
Objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Nope. Although I should probably shoot those containers now that I think about it.
Life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
There's also a lot of, Into the Mouth of Madness. I think that's what it's called. The John Carpenter movie. There's a lot of that in here. Excuse me. Whoa. Nope.
Life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. Anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
We put shotgun shells in the emergency box. Don't ask why. You're good, fam. We've been just doing this. I was saying that there's also a lot of The Mouth of Madness, the John Carpenter movie. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. That's like a good 15% of this game's DNA. Speaking of movies, well, this is TV, but
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast cosmos of madness and horror. All too often, the stars are right. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, A Family Occasion. Journalist Alvin Derlis' trip to study the local customs of an insular community in Night Springs has been less than successful. Until tonight.
Well, I'm glad you changed your minds about this. Ancient customs, local mythology. My editor loves this kind of stuff.
Well, Mr. Derleth, we don't want to feel like we're on exhibition, but you have demonstrated the seriousness of your intent.
Oh, I am serious. Really, just do your thing. I'll stay out of your way and observe.
Actually, I thought you could assist us. I'm afraid we are a man short. It would provide you with an intimate perspective.
Could I really?
Of course, Mr. Derleth.
Well, I guess that's the least I... What would I have to do?
Oh, here. Let me show you with a kiss.
What did you...
Oh, Mr. Derleth, you have well pleased Nixie Perka, the dweller in flesh. Good
such quests always bear fruit. Night Springs.
Okay. I really don't know what to say to the TV shows most of the time.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
Bulldozer! They didn't expect me to just spam all of my throwables. I'm glad that I didn't play this until the remaster. Because because while I may not have noticed it as much, I feel like it being Energizer batteries would have taken me out of it every time I remembered that they were Energizer batteries. I should also play Deadly Premonition.
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise.
I've never played it
I
before.
had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine. The coal mine wasn't far now.
Define far. Because that looks pretty far.
Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
Oh man, my guns disappeared. Hold it right there, Bret Easton Ellis. I don't know. Just further and further off from the genre.
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass. Not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. And I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here. Godspeed, son. I hope you know what you're doing. Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first, a little music.
I'm about to meet the kidnapper. Let me get rid of my guns. I feel like if Alan knew that he wouldn't have an opportunity to change, that he wouldn't have put on this stereotypical writer's fit. And he honestly does seems to kind of have distaste for like the public perception of being this famous writer. So I would expect him to not dress like a douche. He's trying to do like the Tom Cruise like running, but it's not working for him.
Welcome back to KBF FM. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now, Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special someone, that soulmate.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it.
Well, see, to me that's strange because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic.
You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever, and you're forever.
I'm thinking that we'll do 2 episodes tonight, depending on how long this one is.
Heck, childish even. There's plenty of fish in the sea.
And apparently a fisherman has a fishing analogy for everything, but what you're saying, isn't that a little harsh?
Well, no. What I am saying is that your potential for finding that connection isn't limited to what's essentially a chance encounter. How is that harsh?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice thought, but let me say something personal here.
Okay.
Now, well, I don't disagree with you exactly, but I can't really fit that together with what I feel, what I felt for someone, because she was the one, she was, and I let her drift away from me. Maybe I didn't put in the work, I don't know, but, well, since then, and it was a long time ago, but since then there hasn't been anyone, not like her. And I'm not saying I dwell on her or haven't moved on. I like my life. I'm not living in the past, but I do miss the way she completed me.
You can't argue with the heart, Pat.
I'm sorry, folks. I had kind of a scary experience last night, and let's just say it's shaken a few things loose.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Yeah, meanwhile, Alan's just standing there. This game, in particular, seems to be hard to find a good audio balance for. Although I can only go by the little meters. You know, I've put some thought into if I decide to, like, abandon the internet, I've thought about, like, a funny way to do that. Funny to me, anyway. And one idea I had was to post on someone's Discord that I had to step out for a moment to deal with the coyotes, and then I just never come back.
For Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special, but Mott hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw. Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything.
Just gently nudge you towards the idea that I was killed and devoured by coyotes. So the kidnapper's working for somebody. The other idea is that I'm just in the middle of a normal stream, and then you hear, FBI, open up, and then it just cuts off. I had a feeling that that would happen. Let's go up and activate the stuff again.
Welcome back to KBF FM. Hope you enjoyed that too. Now, Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special soulmate. Well, you were talking about.
I think Doc is kind of just being, because I think that there were several soulmates. I think Doc is just being overly pedantic. Because even if it's like a 1 in a billion chance of that perfect someone, that's still 8 people. You know? You are gonna find that perfect woman that's gonna let you race Hot Wheels across her boobs. I believe in it.
Vermont, spying on...
If that's not romance, I don't know what is.
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Don't knock it till you try it. Well, that bigoted old lady said that her family moved in 1913, so they aren't they aren't even part of the original wave of like immigrants.
With Nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sarah. The sheriff looked away.
Mutual jugs? Is that what that says? Oh, mutual juggler.
Boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sarah. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good. I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Wake,
Where the hell are you?
change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked
You
around by
want to
you.
see your wife alive?
Oh, he does have his guns. Okay, never mind.
Watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello? Ah! I'm gonna kill him.
I had to get to Mirror Peak.
I didn't mean to do that. That's too loud. That I know for sure.
It was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
Well, that's a problem for future Alan.
When Thomas Zane fell for Barbara Jagger, it happened fast. She was young, vibrant, and beautiful, full of life. He had never been a very happy man, and without any seeming effort, she had changed all that. Zane felt good for the first time in his life. Everything she did was another piece of a jigsaw puzzle he hadn't even known he'd been missing. And best of all, she made the words flow, strong and sharp. She was his muse.
I thought for sure that was gonna fall on him. Oh dear. I need to get better at the inanimate objects. Those are really fucking me up. At least healing, like there's no healing items, so you don't have to worry about that aspect of it. It's only I know some people say it's a survival horror. I think it's only very light at that aspect. Because it will frequently just give you all you can carry right before a big fight. I think survival horror is also quickly becoming an unhelpful descriptor. It's that's more of like a gradient than a binary.
What the hell? The only way to reach the hillside ahead was to go through the building. I had to find a way to avoid electrocution.
Oh, the whole squad. They were having a circle jerk and we interrupted. They were having a circle jerk and I wasn't invited. The real horror. Oh, hell no. Nope. I didn't notice that before, that it actually does the Max Payne, like, zoom in slow-mo on the last enemy. Or it didn't actively register that it was doing that. Nope. Could I have really driven over there? Jesus. I keep forgetting that driving is a thing, I think, is the problem. I hear the Night Springs theme. I think they just ran out of motifs, though. I don't think that means that there's a TV nearby. Ah, there we go. Alan, you can... Actually, maybe he can't climb that faster, now that I think about it.
Some of the Taken retained echoes of their former selves, but these were just the nerve twitches of a dead thing. Nothing remained but a shell covered and filled with darkness. In most cases, these puppets were enough for the purposes of the Dark Presence. But for anything more elaborate, as with the writer, it was different. It needed his mind. And so rather than taking him over completely, it merely touched him.
Well, Barry is the ideal male body type. This is what peak performance looks like. Barry would never let us down. As soon as he sleeps off those rupees, he's gonna save the day.
There was no way the flashbang grenades were standard power company equipment.
You don't say. Well, now Alan Wake is just stealing the kind of jokes I make. He's taking my gerbs. Thank you. We have definitely killed more Taken than there are people that live here. We've killed like 200 at this point, and there's no way that this town has a population of more than 800. Oh, I'm close to out of ammo.
I had no real plan. I was going to give the kidnapper all the manuscript pages I had for Alice. If that wasn't enough, I'd hold him at gunpoint and make him talk.
What is this? Ooh, pump action. Hell yeah. Now we need to go the other way. The Godzilla movie that I'm in the middle of that has the little Baragon, the little video that I sent you. Where it goes, Fah! That was originally, it was supposed to be a movie starring Anguirus Baragon, who's the little puppy, and Varen, another monster, but Toho wasn't convinced that anything but one of their biggest monsters would sell, so it became Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Baragon. So Anguirus did not appear until 2004. He took like a very long break. Actually, I think it was from 1974 to 2004. That Anguirus just disappeared from our lives, but not our hearts. There were plans to bring him back in the 90s, but none of them worked out. He was going to be in a movie where the monster was basically John Carpenter's The Thing, and it killed and took over Anguirus, but that didn't get made. That was one of the ideas for the movie that eventually became Godzilla vs. Destroya. Excuse you. We're as ready as we're ever gonna be, I think.
The dark presence was
I can't believe Max.
in the same direction
Sorry,
I was
I
going.
can't believe Alan Wake keeps
Feeling
knocking these
set
trees
myself
down.
in the pit of my stomach. Was it going for Alice?
I can't believe Max Allen did this.
The graveyard shift may cause cancer.
What? Was there more context to that statement? I feel like it's a testament to the work done on for the atmosphere, that this gimmick of them saying random mundane sound bites isn't the dumbest thing I've seen all day. It's still kind of silly sometimes. Oh. It's moving on its wheels like it's supposed to. I thought it was trying to sneak up on me.
The place was dead, a ghost town. Had been for decades, maybe a century.
Humanity had not touched this place in 5 million years.
Things were never as simple in real life as in fiction. I had lost count of the times I had wished there'd be a clear reason for my writer's block. Something to fight, something to lash out on. There wasn't. I was filled with doubt. I was nothing like the hero in my books. Alex Casey had gone through his life with single-minded determination, never wavering from his goal. Even now, I was angry at myself, angry at Alice, angry at Barry. I was fumbling and I had no plan.
Alan Wake just jumped in midair. Well, that's fun, at least. I don't buy collector's editions of anything. if it wasn't for the fact that we need to move back to physical stuff so that it can't be just taken away from us on a whim, I would much prefer it be everything be digital, because I don't like a lot of stuff. But the way it's implemented currently is bad for everybody. Well, it's gonna take government stepping in to get it ironed out, I think, so I'm not holding out hope. I know these companies just compromise by just changing their practices in the countries where their practices are illegal, but not worldwide. I know EA had to, I think it was Scotland, they had to try to explain why their loot boxes weren't gambling. It's like they were explaining that it's like a Cadbury cream egg where there's sometimes a surprise inside. Why they went with the Cadbury cream egg, which is banned in several countries, I do not know. That was not the best thought out comparison. It's a surprise that little kids might choke and die on. That giant canister to my entire body hurt slightly. It took 10% off of my life force. That is the same noise.
Anything outside of riding is a struggle. I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and papers by Thomas Zane. It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet, and a good one. He writes of muses and creators summoning fabulous things from a magic lake, using his powers to shape the world of a...
That's what I do to the cameras at Walmart.
Dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as disguise. Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake. Zane believes it's a mirror to the gaping void of darkness above, where some Lovecraftian presence lurks. I crawl back upstairs. I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true.
I knew I shouldn't have taken that PCP as a writing aid. I know this is bad timing, but I do need to use the little person man's room, so I will be right back. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Those, like, Alan Wake clips on the TV of him doing that's what immediately follows this edible ain't shit. Keep going through it.
The kidnapper had sent me a text. The message was full of spelling errors and insults. It was telling me to hurry
Oh, he's
up.
posting on the internet. Shouldn't have smoked that shit. Now I'm fighting the darkness.
Birds.
I'm allergic to birds. It's scary.
Without warning, the headache stabbed at my brain. Alice? I'm losing it.
I forgot that she got kidnapped without pants on. I thought that was Floor.
I'm losing it. I gotta get out of here. set men, confident and at home in the woods. They were feeling good, running on beer, ghost stories, and camaraderie late into the night. It did them no good, as they were taken by the dark presence, sucked deep into a darkness far worse than any ghost story they ever told or heard. Even behind the closed doors and curtains of his grimy room at the Majestic, the local motel, Nightingale could feel the locals' eyes on him, the unrelenting pressure of their judgment. He forced it out of his mind. For all he knew, they could all be under Wake's spell already. You do what you have to do to get the job done. He took comfort from the bottle in his hand. Please, he thought, just let me get through this.
Oh, thank you. That was very helpful. I'd have to make my way up this mine shaft in order to go on. Maybe the machinery could help me with that. I would not do that if I were you, Alan. Oops. Oh well. Up we go. I just know that the outfits smell nasty by now. I think part of, even though I think survival horror is more of like, is not like a binary descriptor, I think it's more of like a spectrum that you fall on, but I think for me to consider something survival horror, you would, health would be something that you need to like micromanage, like with healing items and such, which this game doesn't do. This is just the standard wait a bit, and you get your health back. I tried to play Galarians, which is like the Resident Evil clone from the PS1, where you play this angsty psychic kid, but the gameplay is
great. Another cable car.
is insufferable. So it's funnier to watch other people play. So I don't think I'm gonna go through that again. And has slightly worse acting than the first Resident Evil. I can pull up a trailer in a second. One of my streamer friends, I redeemed it for them to play recently, and they had a decent time with it. Well, there's actually a couple. There's another one that has worse acting than the first Resident Evil that I want to play as well. And while we're here, as a matter of fact, so I can go grab a snack because I forgot. YouTube search has become unusable, not just because it frequently doesn't give helpful results, but because it frequently will just change what you searched for into something that wasn't what you typed. Okay, let's see. this I think is just is not a trailer, but is just the intro to the actual game. It, ignore the stuff at the bottom. It's a cult classic, and it's also kind of silly. That's the those are the main bits that stand out, are the silly bits. They found Genova. I think this song might be copyrighted. I'm not sure. I actually can't hear it, but there's a song that plays in the intro that might be copyrighted. Gray Fox, what did you do? Oh. But like like you use psychic powers, and if you don't manage your sanity or whatever, you get you start just making people's heads explode by being near them. And now for the second Resident Evil clone that I think has less artistic merit to it. Well, it starts draining your health when that happens, so it becomes annoying to keep track of. Let me see here. I think this looks like it'll represent the experience.
Everyone on base, until instructions are given, do not make a sound. Stop all construction work. I repeat, do not make a sound. This is not a drill.
Sorry, I went to grab a snack while that was going on. Now, I couldn't actually hear that, but I'm hoping that that covered that displayed the voice acting. Anyway, back to it. Back on our grind. The pitch is basically, okay, like, what if Resident Evil wasn't good? And also it was underwater, and you had, like, an oxygen mechanic. But the not good part is the real cornerstone of the piece of it. Why did fugitive Alan Wake throw that train car around? Using his super strength that comes natural to him as a writer. So that Deep Fear, the second one I showed off, I might actually play that because it's also pretty easy because they give you tons of healing items and they basically give you unlimited ammo and air. So like it's funny, it's easy, you get all the items you want. It's the perfect game. It's also not scary, so that if you get scared easily, you don't have to worry about it. One game that I have been meaning to try is the Samurai Jack game that came out like 4 or 5 years ago. I never got around to that one. But that's a show that I grew up with. So I need to finish the journey. basically use the stream as both a social outlet and as an excuse to tick games off of my list.
Maud had checked all of Stucky's rental cabins. There had been no sign of the Wakes. It was dark when he'd found their car parked at the end of the road by Cauldron Lake. It made no sense. They must have taken a wrong turn, but there was no sign of them, and the car had been there for hours already. Frustrated, Mott stood on the rotten ruin of the footbridge that had once led to Diver's Isle before it sank beneath the waves years ago. The boss wouldn't be happy.
Nope. That's definitely the kind of noise rattling that that gate would make, yes. Okay. Anyway. What the hell was that noise? That would have actually been an appropriate time to use the flare gun, but whatever. I'm not a coward. I think that we're actually going to call it after this chapter is over. This has been almost 3 hours. But I'm hoping to have these wrapped up by Wednesday.
Thought I could make out the spot where the island
Or Alan Wake wrapped up by Wednesday.
There was a light near it. It had to be a boat.
Ah, yes. Getting on a boat in the fog is always a great idea.
I was close now. I had to get there fast. I dreaded what I would find.
I'm coming to terms with the fact that I'm just not the kind of person that can regularly do 6 or 7 hour streams. That just takes too much out of me. Oh. Alan should have thought about that plan a little harder. Alice Wake's thighs got me acting unwise. I don't actually know what her last name is.
Previously on Alan Wake, I'm hunted by the law.
Sheriff, Wake's running. I'm giving chase.
Are you seriously telling me that writer just took out my deputies?
A thriller I supposedly wrote is coming.
That didn't happen.
The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I was told that Alice had been kidnapped, but that was a lie.
We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is.
Her purported kidnapper was eaten up by the dark presence before it attacked me.
But yeah, I think we're gonna call it and just leave it for the weekend. Or leave the weekend off with that. Oh dear. But yeah, everybody take easy and stay safe. Good to see you, buddy.